Welcome to Bigfoot Question and Answers by Mitch Waite. And we're going to get started by giving a few caveats and a few disclaimers. One is your opinion is welcome, but let's keep it professional. No profanity, no belittling, degrading, or demeaning language. Otherwise, your question will not be recognized. And these are Mitch Waite's or my opinions, and this is what I have observed in the field, and I answer the best questions the best I can. Now, I don't know everything. I'm still in the learning process, so bear with me. I'm just passing information as I see it. Okay, welcome back to our Bigfoot question and answer session. This is our second week, and I will probably publish this video on the 11th of July 2014. Please keep in mind that these questions and answers are basically my own opinion. So this may change as data goes on and as I learn. I am in a learning mode just like everybody else. So yes, I'm not perfect. But here we go. Deanne came up with another question that says, do you think there is any connection between Bigfoot and UFOs? Now this is kind of a standard question that I get quite often in my presentations and so forth. And I can only answer from what I know from my other life when I was in the military. And right now I'm going to say I don't think so. Like I said before, I was one of 5 space officers that worked directly in NORAD and U.S. Space Command. It was my job to track and assess any and all traffic into and out of our atmosphere. I had to advise the general on foreign, domestic, and extraterrestrial threats. That means that I had to know about them. You know, I had to know what their capabilities were and so forth. So, and I can say that real uncorrelated targets, which is the military's word for UFOs, do not come into the Earth's atmosphere or stay that often. Many people would like to think it happens all the time, but it really doesn't. There is no intel in my military career as a space officer that mentioned anything about UFOs and Bigfoot in the same sentence. So I'm not aware of any of the aliens and UFOs being Bigfoot, or if Bigfoot was their pets or whatever. So that's why I'm saying I don't think so. I have never seen a Bigfoot around a UFO. And it might be that the UFOs are maybe just frequenting remote places so that they won't be seen, and that just happens to be where the Bigfoot is. So, so does that mean that there's no relationship? No. The sampling for this is not large enough. I mean, we get other people all the time that talk about UFOs and Bigfoot, but until we get some good footage of a UFO and Bigfoot going in or out of them or whatever, we really can't assume that there is any relationship whatsoever. Michael says, Dave Clear and I were out Bigfooting here in Central and West Texas. We found what appeared to be a freshly hewn hand axe. I too am interested in tool usage. I also have found brightly colored bottles, as well as what appears to be bent sticks with string tied to them to imitate a bow, like a child's toy, in deep brush. I'd also like to know what artifacts you have found in suspected Sasquatch areas. I have not talked about this much at all, but yeah, I believe that Bigfoot does use tools. Let's look at the other parts of the animal world. Chimpanzees have been discovered to use tools. They use rocks and stuff to break nuts. They use twigs to retrieve termites. Lately, they have been observed fashioning spears to skewer bush babies and get them out of trees. So, in other words, they take a limb and they sharpen it with their teeth, chew it down to a sharp point, and they use that to spear the bush baby and pull it out of a hollow log. And the bonobo chimps have been witnessed now of making fires and cooking food, and sometimes even causing forest fires. There are reports of Bigfoot using tools. For instance, I have found many broken sticks. They start out like big sticks, you know, and they're digging with them, and then they break a piece off, and then they toss that and keep digging. I have found many of these broken sticks around holes and stuff that are highly suspected to be Bigfoot habitat traps or just basically disappearance holes. There are reports out there of Bigfoot using broken glass or sharp rock shards to cut their winter hair. Susan saw Bigfoot carrying a long stick, and we don't know if that was a walking stick, a weapon, or if it was just carrying a stick. Do I have any artifacts that might be tools? The answer is yes. Okay, these are two of the tools that I have found. This seems to be some kind of a dagger, very sharp on the point. It could have been fashioned by a human and so forth, but who knows? This was found in a very remote location, and so that's why I really haven't mentioned it, because I have no proof that this is Bigfoot tooling. It's just a strange find that I found out in the bushes out in the middle of nowhere. The second item that I have found is this spear. Same method, found in the same area, very sharp pointed. It's been cleaned off of all the bark and so forth, and you can tell it's pretty long. Again, this could have been made by a human being. It has almost like blade marks on it where a pocket knife might have been used and so forth. But again, this could be rock shards, sharp rocks, or broken glass, or something like that. So, very interesting. The next thing that we have found that I don't have now is a thrombone from an elk, which is about this long. Now typically there's a bulb on each end of the thrombone. Well, one of the ends had been worn down into a very sharp point, and we found that very close to a ambush point or hunting blind that we believe belonged to the Bigfoot. So let's take time out right here and take a look at the hunting blind that I'm talking about. This tree right here has definitely been moved in closer, carried in. Because like I said, it was sitting right down there. Now it's here. I see another limb right there that's been carried in from the last time we were here. Look at the pileup of needles here. Something's just been in here. There's the nest. They've definitely been in here. there's more of these broken branches here.
Yeah, from around here, but
I think they're from that root.
Nothing has been added to this. This is all from last time it showed.
Yep.
Not green like last time.
Been right down through
That's
here.
the right foot right there. See, that's the little toe. Little toes, there's a big toe. And it's wider than my foot.
Well, that was not here before.
Oh, it's not really possible.
No. It came right down through here. Another one. And more. These
Probably that'd be a left, that'd be a right, left. So this is more human size. But if you're not seeing real impressions from me, so it's really heavy. That's about what the stride is on this side.
And before you start saying, "Oh, that's human," well, we had been monitoring this ambush point for quite some time, and we had found where elk had been ambushed and so forth. The tracks that we were finding were not human. They were big tracks, big footprints. The stride on them were well beyond even a human being able to run. So it appears that they were pushing the elk past this ambush point using a funnel type system where they had stacked the trees up and so forth to create a funnel down this trail so that the elk would have to pass right in front of the ambush point. So do they use tools? I suppose they probably do. The more we learn about them, the more we might find out that they're a lot smarter than we have given them credit for. I also had a spear one, or a trailer, an equipment trailer when I first started out back in the 2008-2009 period. This is the truck and trailer that I'm talking about. The next photo shows the hole in the side of the trailer, and the next photo is a little bit closer, and the last photo is a picture of the spear or stick that penetrated through the 3/8 inch plywood about 6-8 inches into the inside of the trailer. I was fairly new to the area. I was met with kind of hostility from the local Bigfoot clans. They tossed rocks at us and stuff like that. Well, one particular time we went up there and I parked my trailer in a parking area and then went over to pitch a tent, and I heard this thump, and I turned around and I looked at my trailer, and lo and behold, somebody had speared my trailer. There was a hole about this big around in the side of my trailer, and the stick was sticking out of it. It penetrated 3/8 inch worth of plywood, so it was thrown with some pretty good force. And I think that was basically telling me, move on. Okay, other things that we have found that show that they have quite the dexterity and ability to make things is pine needle dolls. These are some of the pine needle dolls that we found near the nest. There's several of them. Could these dolls be meant to entertain some of their youth? Or maybe a toy? I have located 4 or 5 pine needle dolls near what we thought was a nest, and basically they look like a replication of almost like a little voodoo doll, but they're made out of pine needles. And we've also found hoops, perfectly round hoops in trees. And we don't know if this is probably not natural to grow round hoops in trees. And they're almost perfectly round, and the vines are woven around. And we kind of almost think that this may be their basketball, their sport. Maybe it's called pine cone ball. Who knows? Maybe they were tossing pine cones through the hoop. I don't know. But it's interesting.